Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Chat Time, Monster Hunter World Iceborne. We're back on the PC, and I'm going to keep building up my PC account because my Xbox account actually pretty much already has everything, so there's really not a strong reason to go over there, especially right now when there's nothing to do, nothing new to do. So we're using kind of this chill time while we're waiting for Latreon to come out to maybe build up our PC account and build up our PlayStation account. I remembered yesterday my PlayStation account is actually the poorest of the three accounts. It has the least amount of stuff. So I got a lot of work to do over on the PlayStation, and I have some work to do on the PC as well. I'm not cheating on the PC at all. I'm not using any mods, you know what I mean? I'm not modding in this stuff, even though I could. So we're just playing like we normally would. And this also gives me an opportunity to help you guys as well. So we'll be back on the Xbox soon enough, but let's have another day with the PC first, okay? How's it going, guys? Welcome back. Welcome to another Monster Hunter World Iceborne episode. How is it going? Kirby says, hi, I'm a fan. Hello, fan. Nice to meet you guys. Thanks for coming back to the live stream. I always appreciate it. I really do. It's fun that we all come together here. So let's see. Today, I actually am going to get an updated Lance build on the PC, just like we did on the PlayStation, and I'm going to see exactly what I need to put together a correct build. Rakusaga says, wait, no popularity video? That's right, no popularity video, not yet. I'm still working on it. Weapon popularity, it takes a while to make one of those videos, if you didn't know that. That's why not a lot of people make them. They take a while. So I've got to get all the data, and then I got to compare it to all the old data, and all of that takes a while. It takes quite a bit of editing. So we're going to go ahead and do today's live stream because I didn't want to skip the live stream. What are you looking at me for, kitty? My cat's staring at me. She wants me to play with her. What are you doing? She wants me to play with her real bad. Oh, right. So let's find out. Hold on. Let's go to the Gathering Hub. Will you help people or... Yeah, we'll probably help people, but I'll be looking at what my character needs as well today, because this is my PC account. Xbox tomorrow? Probably Xbox tomorrow. Hell, I'm doing pretty well. How's it going, Tommy? Thanks for asking. Am I on PlayStation 4? Nope, I'm on the Game Boy. Buzzer says, have fluffy ears mod is not cheating. Lance is the most popular weapon, obviously. What are you doing over quarantine? I am playing Monster Hunter, like I always do. What hammer do you think is better, Sophy Blast or Raging Bracky? Personally, I prefer the Sophijiva Blast hammer because of the ability to swap out one of your attack upgrades for, like, maybe a armor skill. So I think that flexibility just kind of makes it my preference. Your voice sounds a bit odd. What? Yeah, throughout the day, I don't know if you guys knew this, but throughout the day, your voice kind of changes. It can be higher pitched or it can be lower pitched throughout the day. And it has to do with like when you woke up and all that stuff. On some YouTube vids, I see big icons above the monster parts. How do you turn that on? What? I have no clue what you're talking about. Twitch here says, third day without Xbox. Pepe hands. How's it going, Twitch? I know. I was just talking about how I need to work on... Wait, I didn't want to go to this Gathering Hub. I was just talking about how I need to work more on my PC and PlayStation accounts because both of them have a lot of stuff missing. Okay, so I don't have all 14 builds. I don't even have all 14 weapon classes like earned, like unlocked. So I couldn't even put a build together. So there's a lot of work I need to do on PC and PlayStation 4, and we're doing a little bit of that today. I kind of want to start using PC more anyways. I just actually like the load times. The load times are a huge advantage. Oh, look at that. That's actually an updated Tereth Crestclaw. Huh. Let's go by rarity and category. So we don't even have a Sophijiva Lance available, which means we would want to use the Raging Bracky Lance. Hey, mister, how's it going, Tommy? By the way, for those of you who are fans of my card stream, we have We have a bunch of nice mail to open up together. Ooh, we need an immortal. Oh wait, that's for the. Are we in the wrong one? No, that is the lance. Hey, what GPU do you have? No clue. Somebody asked me that same question earlier. Alright, we're going to go after an immortal reactor. That's what we're going to do right now. That's the goal right now, guys. Let's do it. Let's do it. Kitty, I know you want to play. I'm busy, Kitty. Dude, I don't know what's up, but YouTube has been messing up big time lately. YouTube has been giving me a lot of trouble. Alright, Achy Breaky Heart. I actually like both Raging Brachydios and Furious Raging. I think they're awesome, sort of like endgame fights. I hope we get arch-tempered versions of them, because that would be crazy. They're already difficult enough that they feel like an Elder Dragon, but the problem with them is that you could put them in traps, and actually, especially with not Raging Brachydios, with Furious Raging, you can actually capture him. So hopefully we get like an arch-tempered version of them where they're not capturable at all. They don't interact with traps, and they're like twice as difficult, and they gain like a new move that's insane. I would love that because these guys are already a lot of fun. And so also the fact that we got like Raging Brachydios, he's gigantic. I really want an extremely difficult small monster. Wouldn't that be cool? So I'm hoping that Capcom's working on something like that. Also, I wonder what the next game's going to be. I gotta say, I've been playing this game for like nonstop for over 2 years, I think, and you know what's surprising? It's really a very replayable game. So it's a very replayable game. I'm surprised that I wake up and I can just kind of like go back to it and keep playing. That's why I'm surprised by. All right, here we go. I think the key is monster variety. That's the most important part in the game. That's why I've been saying that they shouldn't focus too much on stuff like the charms and the room and all that. They should focus more than anything on getting as many new monsters into the game as possible. Alright, here we are. We're going to fight Achy Breaky Heart Guy. Speed him up. Wait, we better grab the right item loadout, or I'm going to have a public freak out. I guess if I freak out on the microphone, it is kind of like a public freak out, isn't it? TGC, what weapon are you not good at? I'm good at 100% of the weapons. I actually partially believe that. If you were to ask me what weapon I was bad at, I would probably say dual blades, bow, switch axe would be the main ones. Those would be the main ones, because those are the weapons that I actually don't use very much. Roar! I was thinking the other day of maybe getting into speedrunning a little bit even, because that's like the only thing I haven't done in this game is serious speedrunning. Ouch. Wow, that blew up fast. You guys have watched me play casually a lot, where I read the comments and don't take the game too seriously. But I wonder how well I would do if I actually took the game seriously. So it's not like I haven't been playing this whole time. I've been playing the whole time. Get another roll here. Is no one going to throw him into the wall? Kitty, I can't play with you right now. My cat wants to play. All right, there we go. Here goes, Kitty. Get it! All right, I'm playing. I gave in. I started playing with her anyways. Boink. Oh, that was a great shot. Wait, you just want me to play with you again? She's like a dog. She plays fetch. It's so bizarre. Get 'em, boys! Ouch. Come on now. I feel like my controller's going bad or something. Oh, come on, dude. Oh, come on, come on, come on. You waste my sleep. Don't worry about it, CJ. I do it all the time, actually. Don't do it. I didn't land. All right, let's go grab some fresh ammo. My cat's staring at me so intensely. She's like, play with me, man. Let's see what you guys are saying over here. You can usually tell he's doing PC from the Extreme Behemoth thumbnail. You can tell I'm doing PC from the actual PC icon in the thumbnail. There's a PC icon. Yeah, there's a PC icon. Game sound is very low. Thank you very much. I had that adjusted for our Pokemon live stream last night. We are doing, in the late night streams, we're doing a playthrough of Pokemon Crystal. I hope you guys will join me for that as well. It's like a retro game throwback. Especially if you're a little older, you probably remember Pokemon Silver, Gold, and Crystal. That's Gen 2. And we've been having a lot of fun with that. I've been having a lot of fun with that. It's a nice little break, actually, too. Kind of mixes things up. Where's the immersive battle sounds? Oh my god, did I just jump into that? My cat's like trying to climb on me here. I'm not trying to eat that, I'm trying to eat a... There we go. Alright, I'm back. I'm back, baby! Get him! So when he's in the last stage, we should be able to paralyze him. Oh, I'm gonna get myself killed. You know what? Just get the max potion going. No, dude, just stop. Something is definitely breaking on my controller. My controller thinks I'm pushing down when I'm not pushing down at all. So I think my controller's joystick is breaking. That's a pity. It's time to get a new controller. Can't have that. Maybe what I can do, actually, maybe I can put the max potion in the down slot. That would probably help it. CJ, no! What will we do without him? Dude, what is with this guy? He's crazy. Look at the range on his move here. Yeah, it's just automatically going down. What the hell? My controller's definitely breaking. Who needs game sound when you got button mashing? That's right. Heck yeah. How's it going, Raging Bat? Welcome back. Poor Bracky just wants to slime in peace. Woo! Look at that shot, man. Heavy bowgun champion. Are you interested in FPS games like Valorant and Overwatch? I've played a lot of shooter games. If I got back into a shooter game, it would probably be Destiny. I'm not interested in Overwatch or Valorant. I have very, very little interest. I have negative interest. I have negative interest rates to incentivize banks to give out loans. Destiny's pretty cool, though. I just wish that they were better. I heard that they split up with Activision, so when I heard that, that was actually sounded really good to me. Come on, GameCo, your controller's better than that. Yeah, something's going wrong with my controller right now where it's automatically pushing down, and it is kind of annoying. Ah, what a pity. Not the best shot. Alright, so he's gonna roar and move to the next area in a minute. Told ya! Told ya, didn't I? I said he gonna roar and move to the next area. I knew it. How's the hunt doing? The hunt is doing to it. Get into it. Oops. Here we go. Ooh, I have some great news again for people who are on my card channel a lot with me. PSA just sent me an email for one of our 100 card submissions. And they are done grading it, and it is being shipped. So it should arrive in about 4 to 5 days. Woo! Are you hyped? Because that's going to be like, I don't know. I don't even know how much money that is. That's an enormous amount of money. 100 cards, huh? 100 graded cards. How much money is that? I don't even know. It's a ton of money. $2,000, $3,000. Just depends on what cards we're talking about, I guess. Like if it's mostly vintage, it'll be higher, but if it's modern, it'll be lower. Come on, come on, come on. Woo! I think I staggered him there. Oops, not what I'm trying to do. How are you? And two, you hear about a video proving how wrong you are about Lance. I'm going to avoid talking about Lance this round. People were saying at the end of the last live stream that they're ready to move on. So I'm going to focus on just talking about the game again. I actually agree. I want to get back to the game. We must have spent like 3 streams talking about how bad Lance is. I tried playing on keyboard and mouse, but it's just unplayable. You know, I imagine it would be a big change swapping from one to the other. Don't do it. However, I was thinking about maybe making some quality Lance footage. You know, when that video was made, the Lance video, that was just like some B-roll footage. So I do this thing called, I do this thing where I create B-roll footage. And B-roll footage mostly just involves me casually running around and fighting a monster. And the reason it has to be casual is because it has to include problems, it has to include deaths. And that's because if I were to go make, let's say, like a Lance video, and I wanted to talk about maybe a particular problem with the Lance or something to avoid on a monster, like, oh, a monster will kill you with this, what you need is you need that footage to be pre-made during the editing. So I have this long B-roll kind of like video that's 2 hours long. It's the same video that we used for the what are they? The ASMR Lance video that's like 2 hours long and it's just casual Lance gameplay. Well, the thing is, my editor edited the video for the 8 things bad, or the Lance bad at defense or whatever video, right? And he just took that whole footage and he didn't really edit it too hard. He just kind of plopped it in there. So, so I've been thinking about gathering some quality Lance footage because I think it gave people the impression that I have no clue how to play Lance or something like that. I think it gave players that impression, and it doesn't bode well with the criticism video. You know what I mean? It's a video that criticizes Lance, but it doesn't show quality Lance gameplay. And I think that was probably not the best decision when it comes to the editing. But I didn't edit that video. I just made the commentary. Don't do it. See if we can KO him before he goes in. Okay, he's going in. We've got Temporal Mantle. I got it ready. Any thoughts on the new artificial intelligence software is available for the average person? Google AI, Alexa AI. It's not, I mean, companies like to use the term artificial intelligence, but it's not like sentience, which I think is what most people mean when they say, excuse me, artificial intelligence. They mean sentience. So that kind of software, the computers aren't truly, it's not true AI, is all I'm saying. That's what I'm trying to say. Whoa, did we just KO him? I think I knocked my teammate away by accident. That's a pity. Talking about Lance, what happened with the gun Lance build yesterday? I was not able to see it. Oh, I'm so sorry. Uh-oh, I'm about to die. Hold on. Oh, I'm dead. I'm dead. I'm dead. Yep. God damn it. Oh, we ran out of lives? Oh my god, we were all out of lives. Damn it. Yesterday, so you should be able to go back in the stream. It will be at the end of the live stream. Just go back into the live stream. You should be able to find the build. And it went very well, by the way. We fought Kieran and we fought Namio. And what was cool was we were able to do more damage than a Lance player would have done. We didn't have to worry about our weapon ever being deflected because you can't deflect shells, which means we don't have to build Mind's Eye. We don't have to deal with deflecting. We didn't have to build any kind of flinch free because the gun lance is given flinch free for free. So the lance doesn't get flinch free, but the gun lance does. We were able to guard anything we wanted to guard. Turns out you don't have to have counter guard to guard things. You can just guard things. And then finally, we were able to build all kinds of additional defensive skills like thunder resist, water resist, and more, I believe. And that's because the gun lance has an explosive damage build, which ignores hit zones, which means we don't have to soften the monster ever. It's got an explosive damage build, and explosive damage builds are really efficient because you only build capacity boost, focused, and artillery. Alright guys, I'm actually trying to beat this guy, so let's be a little more careful. It's my fault too, I died too, but let's get him done this time. Let's kill this achy breaky heart guy. I did not know we were down to 1 life. I would have been a little more careful. Eat a meal. I'm going to take Bombardier again. I'm going to assume one of my teammates can take Moxie. Not Moxie, I'm sorry. Safeguard. GE stood on the dot slime. Yeah, I know. I tried to roll away from it, but I screwed up the direction of the roll. It's my fault. All you had to do... Oops. I just hit reload. Something is going wrong with YouTube. I had to reload it because it's like doing this thing where it stops loading up your comments. I like potatoes. Holy, CJ carded. It was all Europe. Terreth Blitz support still good for a normal ammo 2 build. Terreth Blitz support. Yeah, the support light bowgun's still good. So far, DLC has followed the same rhythm. First a non-elder powerhouse, then a siege, and then an elder revamp. What's your favorite heavy bowgun playstyle, seeing as it's one of your favorite weapons? Just sticky ammo. I was already a huge fan of sticky ammo in the base game because I felt that sticky ammo was a really strong crowd control option when you're playing with, like, the Dark Devourer, which got an enormous amount of sleep ammo, or you're playing with the Zora Magdaros heavy bowgun, which gives you a paralysis on top of the sleep. So I always found that like a sticky ammo build was super powerful in multiplayer because it would give your team multiple knockdowns, and that's so valuable in multiplayer because everyone for a little while gets to increase their damage output to 100%. So I was already a big fan of sticky, and then sticky ammo just got buffed. That's it, they just got buffed. Oops, there he goes. No, are you kidding me, man? He's still not angry? There we go. Too early on my roll. Who do you think going to be the next Arch-Tempered? One of the ones that hasn't been Arch-Tempered. Right here. Alright. That's knocked down. Go ahead and soften. Oh. I have to say, I think heavy bowgun's the superior weapon for sticky ammo because you're able to soften the monster's parts in one move as well. And for your teammates, like, see, we have two. Check it out. We have 2 longsword players. Girl walks in. Is that cheese? Oh my god. That's cheese playing Sir Mix-a-Lot. Is it Sir Mix-a-Lot? Can't remember his name. I'm bad. Yep. Man, that song became so famous over time. I wonder if it like influenced women to get like butt injections. Oh man, I can't believe women get butt injections. It's so fake, dude. Just take your normal butt and love it the way it is. That would be real body acceptance. No more of that. No more of that fake plastic stuff. Oh my god, this guy's gonna one-shot me. What the? It did one-shot me. Why did that go off so fast? Whoa. I don't understand. Was I already afflicted with the goop, or did it just go off in like 2 seconds? No, wrong button. Oh god, my controller's messing up too. Jesus, that's annoying. It's not in the combat, but it's when you're picking out the items, it's messing up. There isn't a donation sound. Here, I'll replay it. The donation sound had been turned down. Let me replay this.
I like big butts, and I cannot lie, you other brothers can't deny that when a girl walks in with an itty-bitty waisted round thing,
I like her little pause.
Tough house would notice that butt was stuffed deep in it.
Oh yeah, that is the whole script. Why did I blow up so fast? I don't understand. My character blew up like instantly after that slime hit. This session ID has invalid characters. It only has letters in it. Letters and numbers. Oh, you're saying I typed it wrong? There it is. There's the session ID, guys. Save it. Use it. Come join us.
Hey, mister, what's the worst weapon in the game, and why is it the lamp?
Hey, mister. Attack his feet, guys. For the longsword players, if you go after the feet, you'll trip them. Arch-Tempered Ruiner is a safe bet. Give it the Arch-Tempered Nergi theme. Footprint. I don't think we'll get Arch-Tempered Nergigante till the end like last time. Why did he come back? Did you see that? He came back. What the hell? Did you see that? The hell? Oh, I would put him to sleep, but my teammates aren't here. That was too funny. 2, 3, 4. Alright. You were at like 30% HP when the slime exploded. Well, I knew that part, but I mean, why did the slime explode so quickly? Was I already afflicted with the slime for a while? Or does it just go off quickly sometimes? Did you know that at least on the PC version, there's an option to copy session ID in the options? Oh, that's cool. It doesn't really help though, because I communicate on Discord from my laptop and I play on my desktop. Oh, good choice. Trapping him before he moves to the last area. Although probably you should have waited for somebody to soften him up. Man, did you see how much damage that is? Yeah, he's gonna throw me off. I'm in danger. Oh. I think he's coming for me. Oh. There we go. So these guys need some softening. The longsword player. Oh my god, I'm not getting a chance to soften him. I'm not gonna let you get the chance. There we go. We're softening this arm right now. There we go. I'm doing my part. Alright, getting those parts softened for the longsword blade. Woo! Look at that damage. That's crazy. He can be thrown into a wall, by the way, it looks like. Boop. Alright. Get this dust of life going. It is time to crowd control him for the team. No, come on, man. What the hell? Oh. Alright, we're not going to fire this because we're just going to throw our teammate around. We're going to throw him into the wall. Oop. Oh, I guess I didn't do that fast enough. That's a pity. Alright, let's get the paralyze out. Try and get a soften in fast. Alright, that is a soften. Wait, did I already use my oh, I already used my paralysis too, didn't I? Oh, okay. There was no point in going for the paralysis then. Well, we got the leg softened. Let's try and soften another part of it. Ooh. You guys gonna be okay? Oh, man, that was close. Look how close they came. Go ahead and start softening them up for the team. I'm dead. Oh my god, I'm rolling into it. That's what happened last time. The roll's actually so far reaching that you can easily roll into the gun. Throw them off real fast. Boop. Who's going after? Nice job, nice job. I'm just gonna heal up. We'll play it safe because I don't know how many lives we got. There he goes, he's gone. Good job, everyone. Carve him up. Kedrick says, fight Furious Rajang next. Well, I just need one of his reactors, Brecky's reactors. Marcus says, why do you always play this late? This isn't late at all. This is 5:26 p.m. for me. Yeah, this is a normal time for me. Late is like when I'm up at 4 a.m. streaming, which I do that all the time as well. There are gonna be 2 more new monster closing the year off. Made it home after getting my brother's graduation photos taken. Yay, graduating! There is a point in life, guys. I know this sounds crazy, but there is a point in life where you don't go to school anymore. Isn't that crazy? You spend most of your life going to school so that eventually you don't have to go anymore. And then it's like you can just go to work, make your money, and then lay around and scratch your nutsack. It's amazing. That's what it's all about. Oh, there it is. We got the Immortal Reactor on the first try. Very good. Technically the second try, because we lost the first run. Technically the second try. Was the hardest monster you ever fought in the Monster Hunter series? The most difficult monster in the Monster Hunter series is still the Extreme Behemoth. And hopefully they bring him back. They probably won't. Hopefully Electron replaces him. Alright, let me take a quick look at those 2 donations, by the way. So there were 2 donations, one by Cheese and one by Saul Cruz. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and apply that to the Vault Fund. We're going to remove $10 from it. Thank you so much, guys. So we're trying to bring the Vault Fund down to 0. And when the Vault Fund's down to 0, I'm going to whip out about $3,000. Probably is going to be like $3,200 because you have to hire somebody to move it too. And I'm going to buy this 1,000-pound, what do you call it? It's a 1,000-pound vault that's fireproof and you can't cut through it. And it's so heavy, it's going to be very difficult to move. You'll need multiple people to move it. You'll need an industrial dolly, and it's going to be bolted to the ground on top of all that. So we're going to get a hardcore vault. Ashton says, great stream. Look at chat if you can. Question. All right. He says, is over 200,000 damage in 5 minutes on Safia indication that a guy on my server cheating? He was using a heavy bowgun. Fight ended in less than 5 minutes. That's definitely cheating, Ashen. So he must be using some kind of heavy bowgun mod. And that's what I say, don't do that, guys. Some people might enjoy cheating, but you're kind of cheapening the experience of the fight by using mods like that. I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't condone it. I think that it changes the gameplay experience. So if I was that guy and I didn't want to fight Safajiva a bunch, I would just mod in Safajiva parts. But if you're going to go into people's multiplayer experience and change it with your mods, that's where you cross the line, in my opinion. All right. Let's go ahead and craft ourselves a lance. One of the weapons I don't have because I don't play it in Iceborne as much because it didn't receive very good new attacks in Iceborne. That's the truth. Here it is. Wow, they make it look like the gun lance. Look how thick it is. Huh. And now let's go ahead and change our build. Let's see, we want a melee damage build. So let's see what we got. We got the hammer. So that's Draken, that's definitely not right. Cold Fury and 2 Bracky, huh? Interesting. What do I actually own on the... So I don't think I would build Master's Touch these days, especially with the fact that you have like the Wetfish Fin, the ability to farm up the Wetfish Fin. So what would I build? Oh, let me get that helmet for... Let me get the other helmet here, the Golden Loon helmet. Nami LY, Stamp Search, Evade Window. And Evade Window's nice. They ruin it. They ruin it by making you have water attack too. Like, what the hell? So Kulv is free meal and free element ammo up. Speed eating. Yeah, this one's not bad. The Kulv Turok the Rage Alpha is not bad for building wide range. That's actually really not that bad, because you generally do have some level 2 decorations you can fill in, like, you know, maybe Mind's Eye or something. But let's see, what else? That's peak free meal. And these legs are legit not that bad either. The only problem is they don't give you, like, Agitator Secret or anything like that. Doo-ba-doo-ba-doo, scooba-doo-ba-doo. Let's see, where is the... Zora, Namiel. So this is the Teostra set. Let me just look at this again. So the helmet obviously is not that impressive. The arms continue to not be that bad, and the coil is pretty good as well. I think you would just build Teostra for this, because the lance, well, yeah, the lance does just benefit from not having to sharpen as much. Oh, right, but it's competing with Lunastra. That's what it was. Hold on. That's what it was. You have the parts for Garuga Greaves. Do I? Wow, that's crazy. Wow, look at all this useless armor. Look at all the armor they put in the game, and we only use a few sets. they really need to rethink their strategy on that, because they must put an awful lot of work into all those other armor sets that never get used, and instead of doing that, they could just add more monsters to the game. Silver Soul. Oh, right, we're looking at this. Golden Loon. So we got the regular helmet right here. Okay. Oh, I sure would like this coil right here. So I would like to fight Gold Raytheon next, because I need to build that coil. So what do we need for the coil? Everything. I'd like to build both of these coils, actually, because sometimes the other one is useful as well. So we have our choice between putting together Teostra or putting together the Golden Loon. And because I believe that the Divine Blessing Secret skill at this point is more valuable than Master's Touch, I'm going to end up building Divine Blessing Secret. Let's see, we got these two pieces in. This is what we have for now, but we're going to get her coil built too. And actually, I really do like, in this case, I do like having... Hold on, let's get this by rarity. There we go. This right here, blast attack is not bad for this particular armor piece. Let's go by rarity. We're gonna get this crit boost. No, we're not gonna get this crit boost, are we? Hold on. So I'm trying to think, what's the best way? Do we have the raging? Oh, we don't have the raging. Okay, hold on. The Raging Brachydios armor set is an armor set you're gonna want to put together. The whole thing, the whole shebang. Like, every piece of this armor set is pretty flexible. It really is. And especially, we are going to... What's this? Artillery? Okay, we don't need artillery. We're going to put this together real fast. Yeah, that Raging Brachy set right now is pretty damn meta, along with the Teostra set. And I would argue the Golden Loon set is my most used set in the game. Most used set, for sure. Okay, Brachydium, Kaiser Coil... Not Nargacuga Greaves. We're going to go with the Brachy Greaves. So this is what the build's looking like so far. Let me go ahead and drop this charm real fast. Oh, we need to work on our charms on the PC as well. So we're going to start... The next thing we're going to do, we're going to go fight Gold Raytheon. And here's what we're looking at right now at the build. This is what we're looking at. So let's start piecing it together. I always like to check health boost and see what we got on health boost. Because health boost... We always take health boost. Here's a Tenderizer Vitality. So health boost and weakness exploit are taken care of now. We're done with those. Let's check Agitator real fast. Now I know you guys are probably talking to me, but my eyes are glued to the screen right now. Alright, so for Agitator, we only have the medium decorations. Which is why we're going to check our Agitator charm. Our Agitator charm is very weak right now. We need to upgrade it.
What's something making?
We need Black Curl Temper Horn and Spirit Vein Solid Bone to upgrade our Agitator charm. So we need to do some stuff in the Guiding Lance on our PC. Take this back off. And that would mean we're going to try and use this. Oh, but we've only got two. Well, if we've only got the two agitators, can we put the coil on maybe? Let's give up this Kaiser coil for now. We're going to build 3 more levels of agitator using the other coil, because this is going to be more important than that's going to be more important than a little more blast, you know what I mean? So we got Challenger, so it's all here. We're working with what we have. This is a very realistic approach to the game, because most of you guys don't really have everything you need. So that's really how it is for most of you. Take that off real fast. We go skills. Let's see. Let's take Divine Blessing. So Divine Blessing Secret is really powerful in this game. It really does just make you way more survivable. Here's a peak and just a bunch of small decorations. Okay. What do we have for guard? So it's looking like none of these are upgraded. Yeah, none of them are upgraded. So my charms need to be worked on really bad. There's the guard charm. We're going to put that there. We're also going to pick up the... Oh, really? Oh, right here. Okay, we're also going to pick up the shield decoration. And flinch free, because you want flinch free to be built, which is so sad that so many weapons get it for free and this weapon does not get it for free. Many weapons get it for free, including the gun lance, which is almost exactly like this weapon. Alright, so we're building that so that we don't get interrupted. Now we still have to build Divine Blessing, and we're going to build it as a small decoration, I suppose. Oh, no, I don't want defense. Hold on. Agitator, Divine Blessing, Health Boost, Weakness Exploit, Guard 3, Guard Up. We're missing Crit Eye. We're missing Crit Boost. Two very, very important things. We're going to start with the Crit Boost. We have Constitution. Oh, this sucks. We do not have good decorations for Crit Boost. And then we've got this. These 3 slots are left over, which means we don't have room for Offensive Guard. Because we have to build Crit Eye no matter what here. You're going to lose more damage not having the Crit Eye. So we got Expert 1. Quick Sheath might be nice. Ah, here's an Offensive Guard. That helps. And 1 more level. So this is what we got for Crit Eye. This is a starving build, man. Alright. And we're going to manage items. Go ahead and grab this. Let's go fight Golden Loon. If we're going to fight Golden Loon, we're going to throw this into the build real fast, into the item loadout. Oh, and let's work on our stuff real fast. So options. I don't want to be so ugly. How do we show helmet or don't show helmet? Dude, my character was so ugly. And we're going to choose Forge Equipment, Layered Armor. So here's the Archon, and we need everything for the Archon. We don't have any of this stuff, so we can't afford Archon. And I think the Archon is probably the only one I like. Archon is the first layered armor that I think looks okay. But we need a lot of stuff, so that's not going to help. Run over here. What if Master Rank Arch-Tempered Extremist got added? That would be so hot. I'd be steaming all over if they did that. I would love it if they do that. I don't think they will. Mainly because I think that the Behemoth is a Final Fantasy monster. And I think that they probably don't have any kind of agreement on that with the Final Fantasy team, Square Enix. So I highly doubt we're going to see that. We're going to go ahead and return to the central area. We need to talk to our cat. Man, we should have a 12-hour stream soon. We haven't done a 12-hour stream in a while. What do you guys think? Have a party? We'll have a pizza party. How you guys doing in quarantine, by the way? Has coronavirus affected your job or anything like that? How are you guys doing on that? Oh, interim rewards, huh? We're not even good enough to get the full rewards. Alright, for those of you who are in my session, we'd like to fight Gold Raytheon so that I can craft her coil. I'm going to check and see if you guys have any posted. That guy needs help with the crazy one. There it is, Gold Raytheon. You know what? It's a Gold Raytheon Tempered quest. You know, I don't need a Gold Raytheon Tempered quest. I'm sorry. That will take a long time. I don't have any Gold Raytheon normal quests. Let's see if I have one up here.
Hello.
I do like the opportunity to earn some decorations, especially with her being a threat level, what is it? Threat level 3, threat level 4. So she's a top threat level, but right now we're focusing on building. Gold Raytheon. Where is she? Namiel, Brute Tigrex, Raging. Am I just not allowed to have her? Okay. Hi, kitty. What are you doing? You want me to play with you? What do I got? Here it is. Go get it, kitty. I'm not shouting at the microphone too loud. We're going to choose... Maybe we'll choose join quest. Did anyone put up anything new? Oh, heck yeah, man. You got it. But we're not allowed to die, everyone. One life. I'll go ahead and eat safeguard right now unless I have insurance. So check for insurance, check for feline safeguard. I don't have insurance, so I'm going to go for safeguard. If we can get a safeguard, we'll have 3 lives. You looking at me again? What do I got? Go get it, kitty. Now my other kitty is interrupting it. You know, it sucks. So I got the one cat that will play fetch, and she'll bring the item back to me. The second cat likes to play too. She scares off the main cat that actually brings it back. And the second cat doesn't actually bring it back. She just chases it and she gives up. She doesn't bring it back to be thrown again. I guess she's not smart enough or something. She's a low IQ kitty. Update that real fast. Alright, I'm ready to go. Is there space in the lobby? Possibly. John Titer says, we want the cat cam. I could get the cat cam out. The problem is, my wife would probably end up walking in front of it unknowingly. I've walked in front of it unknowingly twice now. So I assume my wife could do that. Let's chat about how Elytra is still not released and the game is becoming stale. Why does Greatest Jaggerist Smash still break through Power Guard? I work for the unemployment department for the state I live in, and we process close to 200,000 claims for people. Jesus. Really sucks. Alright, we're going to go ahead and have Rocksteady Mantle. Sweet. Don't do it, Golrathian. Shut up. Just keep stabbing her. Get all the softness going. There's a pod. Oh no. Will this still land her into the wall? I think it did. Nice. Can't actually tell what she's going to do. Oh, she's down. Just as my Rocksteady runs out. Ouch. That was my teammate activating my counter guard early, which is why I wasn't able to just counterattack. It's one of the things that we don't like about Lance. I'll stab him in the tail. Oh, what's going on? That wasn't the button I pushed. Oh my god. Well, I can tell you guys, flinch free improves the Lance experience a lot because you don't get it automatically. It's kind of like the hammer when you don't have it charged and you're trying to use Big Bang on the monster. interrupted. Oh my god. Go ahead and grab this real fast. You're like, hey, I didn't like that. Oh, perfect interrupt. Oh, there she goes. She's getting thrown. Oh, that's not what I meant to do. One, two, three. Running attack. One, two, three. And I'm finally poisoned. She got me! No! Ah, the counterclaw doesn't work on elemental attacks. So you just stand there guarding like a doof. Because that would be too strong if you could guard that. Counterattack it. I'm gonna go ahead and sharpen, because I think she's not looking at me. Well, that counter claw didn't work either, just because even though I was right inside of her, the move wasn't gonna land there. Which is interesting, because if I had just gone into a sheet, that might have been more effective. That counter claw sucks, man. She's dead. Nice job, guys. Dr. Mordred, you are not even using Lance. Lance makes you look like a mosquito. All you do is sting. Did you just assume my weapon type? You best not be assuming his weapon type. But at least you can knock your teammates over when you're using dash attack. That's pretty cool. I mean, that seems pretty useful. Yay, quest complete. T-pose. Alright, let's see these items we received. Very good. Suture Jewel. This is very much adequate. Doo-ba-doo-ba-doo-ba-doo-ba-doo. So if he posts that again, I probably will join it again. But first, let's run up here and talk to this guy.
How's your gear holding up?
How's your gear holding up? We're going to choose forge equipment, right? Because we're trying to forge the Luna Coil, which we do not have. Let's see if we can forge after one run. Alright. So we are 3 guiding wasteland crystals away. Alright, so we need to go into the guiding wasteland. What the? Okay, let's use this then. Jesus. Use the insect glaive next hunt. We will certainly be looking at all 14 weapons, like I've always done, but we're working on getting this guy all set up. We're going to try and get all 14 weapon builds on the PC. We're going to get all weapon builds on the PlayStation. And then we will be able to go wild and have lots of fun. Oh my god, did we leave without adding the geologist decoration? We did, didn't we? I gotta stop doing that. We're gonna return. Let's go to the... No, let's not go to the research base. Freaking research base. Who goes to the research base? Should I farm the greatest Jagras or the names Lavasieth? Great question, Jamal. I always recommend the names Lavasieth. If you're a brand new player, the greatest Jagras would probably be a better use of your time early on. But once you're really hunting for the very valuable, very rare decorations, I think that the names Lavasieth is a better choice. Let's use that decoration. We're going to drop a level of expert, I guess, and we're going to take... Gotta have it. We're going to take... Where is it? Geology. Sweet. What it's like having your bumhole... What? You put on that block jewel, and you can block, like, every attack. Wow, man! That's so much defense! The lance is the worst weapon in the game. I actually agree with that statement. So go ahead and talk with the smithy.
No problem.
We're going to choose augment equipment. Forgot to do this. So we don't have what we need for health regen at all on PC, apparently. So we got a lot of work to do in the guiding lands on PC. We don't have great spirit vein gems, so we can't do that either. Wow, we got a lot of work to do on our PC character. We're going to go to the guiding lands. What do we got? I know this is going to sound dumb, but is Monster Hunter cross-platform? Nope. Lance is stinky poo-poo. Lance is... How could you say that? We're going to have to put you in jail, mister. Hey, mister! Let's go ahead and have a meal. Pay with money. Chef's choice platter. What is the strongest weapon? I would choose heavy bowgun spread solo. If I was in multiplayer, I would actually have a pretty strong suspicion that the greatsword or the dual blades or the bow would be the most powerful weapon. So greatsword, dual blade, bow, they're all doing real well damage-wise, if you want to talk about damage. They're all near the top of the speedrunner chart. A light bowgun with elemental ammo in certain matchups is really powerful. By the way, what do I actually have here? So my Coral Highlands is level 4. And my Wastelands is level 0. So we need Wastelands. Can't remember. This takes us to the Wastelands, right? Yeah, it does. Wastelands Guiding Crystal. That will take us a while to unlock, I think. Wait a second. Why don't I just return? Because my Wastelands is level 1. Why don't I just return to Celiana? Lance's strongest weapon. My dad is a creator of Monster Hunter World. He said it's the strongest. Hey TGC, finally caught a stream after a while. Good luck with the RNG on your PC chart character. Thank you very much, City. Raging Bat says, why do I doubt that troll? I feel like bow falls off when you switch to close range, so over time I imagine it gets worse. What are you talking about? I need Wastelands Guiding Lands. Guess I got my caps on, I'm sorry. It's like I'm shouting at you. I need the Wastelands! Alright, I'm on my way. On the road again. I can't wait to get on the road again. We'll pay with money. We're gonna have Chef's Choice platter. So what have we done so far? We've crafted... We got a lance made. That's one of the weapons we didn't have. Yeah, I should have a 12-hour grind fest on my PC character and then a 12-hour grind fest on my PlayStation character. Both characters could use that, and if I could get that done before Elytron comes out, that's probably going to make it much easier for me to help you guys fight Elytron, who I assume is actually going to be tough. That's my assumption. I'm assuming Elytron's actually challenging. If he's not challenging, I'm going to cry. I always feel like a pony when I'm running. Because I got no horse, but normally you would see a lance and a shield on a horse, right? Alright, I don't see any bones over here. Oh wait, we're not going for bones. We're going for the actual mining. I've taken a break from Monster Hunter World, and I'm replaying Monster Hunter Tri. What? You're not allowed to take a break. You gotta keep going. Nope, that's a bush. Ooh, if we see the first Wyverian, that would be nice. Doo-ba-doo, scooby-doo-ba-doo-bee. Why do you get a thing here? That's not fair. Gigantic ants? Actually, if you look at the size of these ants, that's horrifying. Those ants are like the size of a tarantula. I would not want to mess with those ants. Oh, here's one. Good, good, good. Monster Hunter players on rope watching because of Elytrion. When's Elytrion coming? Yeah. It's pretty bad. I'd say it's pretty bad. Oh, here we go. Here's one. Cracked crystal. We're going to grab one mushroom. We're going to grab 2 mushrooms. Running, running. Whee! Wow, the lance is so fast. Best weapon? Running, running, running. Oh my god, why is it why are these rocks forming so slowly? Can't it be like in the real world where deposits of useful ore just show up like instantly? That's how it is in the real world. Give me stamina up, that's too funny. Alright, let's go ahead and carve up this rock. This is the high quality content I know you guys sub for. This is that good running around the Wildspire Waste doing nothing content. God, isn't that sad? This is why people don't like Guiding Lance right here. Because we need this one piece of materials in order to upgrade our weapon. But in order to obtain it, we just kind of have to like waste a ton of time. That's why it's called the Wastelands, because you waste all your time. So we have to come out here and waste all our time in the Wastelands. By the way, have we not seen any bones? Where are the bones? Might as well be getting the bones while we're out here too. Can I kill this bug? Oh, apparently you can scare him off. Doo-ba-doo-ba-doo-ba-doo, doo-ba-doo-ba-doo-ba-doo, scooby-doo-ba-doo-bee. Imagine if Gunlance can charge 2 and use their stickies to produce steam like trains. What? Just past bones. Did I really? Where? Where them bones at? That's what you get for not voting for a female candidate. Women who don't vote for women have a special place in hell. I think I remember I was watching some feminists say that. Imagine if men said that. They would get skewered for misogyny. Men who don't vote for men have a special place in hell. Let's run over here. We're gonna grab these stones. Jump off the cliff. Choop. Dooba-dooba-doo, scooba-dooba-doo. Looking for all the materials, but they're not gonna show up. Oh my god. Oh, I thought maybe that would be bones. Oh, here's some bones. Well, that's well hidden. It actually matches the color. Ooh, nice. Guiding Wasteland Dragon Bone. Sweet. Trying to hit him. Doo-ba-doo-ba-doo-ba-doo. Hey TGC, did you ever learn about ancient Rome? Yeah, I did. I love learning about ancient Rome. Are you asking me, was there something I was curious about that I was going to go look up, and if I ever finished doing that? If that's the case, I don't know what it was. I might have been looking up, but I actually have done a bit of reading on ancient Rome. When I was a kid in high school, high school, I had to learn Latin 1 and Latin 2, and often that involved little history lessons about how Rome was. So yeah, Rome's a great topic of is a topic of great fascination because they were such a powerful and innovative society so long ago, like thousands of years ago. And you look at what their city, or, not their city, but some of their best cities looked like back then. And the crazy thing is, you'll look at Rome back then, and it looks better than some third world countries today. There's places that, there's developing countries like in Africa that today still don't look better than the Roman Empire. It's been like over 2,000 years. We've got all the technology. We've got cars, we got boats, we got planes, and they still don't look better than Rome does. So it's a very interesting subject, Rome is. And it's also interesting because the founding fathers of the United States were interested in Rome as well. They were interested in Rome and Greece, both of those things. And they did a bunch of research. And that's why, if you guys have ever wondered, if you're American, have you ever stopped and looked at a lot of our government buildings? Usually our government buildings are designed like old Roman buildings. That's intentional. That was on purpose. Yeah, that was on purpose. The founding fathers saw America as going to be the new Rome, basically. Boop. It's going to be the new Roman Empire, but it's not going to fail. That was their hope. Roman soldiers used charged blade shields and sword and shield swords. Yeah, they had pretty short swords back then. It's interesting. A lot of the time, swords weren't just designed for certain styles of combat. Sometimes they were designed based on the quality of the metal that you were using. Look at this guy leaving behind these buffs for the guiding crystal. Petition to bring back Rome. Let's Y pose for Rome. Oh my god. So I say we run around just a little bit longer because I think that we're close to getting a big bones to show up, right? Yes, we are. We're very close to a big bones. Scooby-Doo-Doo-Doo. But yeah, Rome, they were building the aqueducts and they were building the Colosseum. And they had an advanced political structure that had never been seen before. A lot of the things that made Rome successful was the fact that the Romans were so clever at politics. They did some things that they had learned from the civilization before them, presumably the civilization that they took over. I don't remember the name of that civilization. I wish I did. It's a very, it's a name that you just easily forget. I think it started with an E. I could be wrong. like the Euclideans or something. I can't remember. But anyways, they kind of took over from them, and they learned about taking a census. So they did something that societies really didn't do back then. They actually accounted for how many people were in their society. Another thing that the Romans did that was really innovative, that they also learned from the society before them, they allowed people to make donations to the emperor or king, if you want to think of it that way. So rich people in your group could go make a donation to the king, and then the king would allow them to make decisions about how the country should be run. It was like a form of voting almost, but you had to make a donation. And so this was like this idea that there would be a shared decision making was a really innovative idea back then, and it helped the Roman Empire form a senate eventually. So the Romans had a senate, and so did the Greeks had something like that too. So these were ideas that weren't really being practiced anywhere else, and is what made them civilized, and why they viewed everyone else as like barbarians, basically. So those ideas were brand new ideas back then. And they had some big, I mean, there's actually, if you go look it up, there's some buildings that were built by the Roman that still exist today. And you look at them and they look beautiful. Makes you wonder, like, what places are doing wrong. You got places, they're still living in like mud huts and everything. It's like, damn, guys, get it together. You know what I mean? Like, just please. It's not like the Romans had a bunch of advanced technology to build their stuff. They just did it. I don't know what makes them wake up in the morning and do the stuff that they do, but they did. Yeah, it was a very like pre-democracy kind of stuff that they had going on back then. Yeah, ironically, for those of you who don't know why the Roman Empire fell apart, and there were multiple reasons why it fell apart, by the way, but some of the main reasons, the Roman Empire got so big that it was hard to govern it. Okay, so the Roman Empire became really large, and because of limited technology, they didn't have like cell phones and the internet back then. You can't really control such a large country because it's so huge. You don't really have any kind of way to communicate from one end of the country to the other end of the country that there's a need. The second thing that started to happen is Rome had a lot of enemies, and they started kind of building up around them. Is this it? Is this the big bone pile? I think it is. So you got a lot of barbarians that kind of went in. And then I think some of the things that really killed Rome, there were a few things that really killed Rome. And one of them is the leaders stopped caring. So the leaders stopped caring about kind of like Rome being a glorious, huge empire, and they became, I guess, degenerates. So the Roman Empire became very degenerate. They started only caring about drink and sex and sport. So that's all they cared about at some point. They just kind of became degenerates and stopped caring. They weren't competitive anymore. And that's why you see the Colosseums built near the end of the Roman Empire's reign, because everyone's so focused on like gladiators and shit like that. So the funny thing is, when the Roman Empire was forming, one of the things that set the Romans apart from the previous civilization from where they lived is the Romans were very conservative. They were actually really, really conservative. They had thoughts about how a man should be. They had thoughts about how a woman should be. And near the end of their reign, they go from being conservative to being very like hedonistic, I guess would be the term. And I guess you can argue what you think hedonism is. But yeah, they became really hedonistic near the end. Not that they didn't have some forms of hedonism the whole time. The Romans suffered from all kinds of other problems too. There was a lot of fighting over who should be in power. And so like these emperors would be chosen, and then the actual military would decide, we don't like that emperor, we want our guy. And then they would murder him, and a new one would be chosen, and he would be murdered. And so they had a lot of problems where their politicians weren't getting along. They were like divided in a really bad way. And so eventually Rome gets split into two parts, being led by two different political parties, which is kind of a scary thing to think about, because that's how America feels like today. We have two groups of politicians that hate each other so thoroughly that it seems like they couldn't possibly run America together. So America's just split into two parts at this point, red states and blue states. So it's kind of a scary sort of maybe shadowing of it, you know what I mean? So they had degeneracy, they had hedonism, they had politicians that really didn't care about making Rome an amazing sort of what was the word I was using before? They didn't really care about Rome as something that they identified with and something that they revered. They just, hey, I'm the emperor now. I'm going to cut my nutsack off. That's a real thing. You had like an emperor who was like cutting off his own dick and balls, and it was really weird stuff back then. And then the last part, there were like the civilization that predates the Germans and the Anglo-Saxons and all them. Those civilizations started moving into Rome. So Rome started in, remember, Rome's really big. So it covers a ton of land. So it covers a lot of people too, like what would essentially become the Italians, what would become the French, what would become the Germans, what would become the British. So you got all these different, what they call like barbarian groups. And Rome would bring them in, so they would immigrate into Rome, but they didn't really share any of Rome's values, and then Rome didn't really treat them that well either. So the Romans, they treated them almost like not almost, they treated them as second-class citizens. So what ended up happening is when people from that same group who weren't living in Rome started attacking Rome, the people living in Rome who belonged to that group weren't really going to defend Rome from that group. They're like, yeah, come take it over. And so there was like, I think they were called the Gauls or something like that. I'm trying to remember. They eventually actually start sacking Rome, and nobody wants to stand up to them because half of those areas of Rome are already filled with Gauls anyways. They're like, yeah, come on in. And the politicians would reach out to across to each other and be like, hey, help us out. We're getting ransacked over here by these barbarian groups. And again, because Rome was split up between two political parties, the other party's like, why am I going to send my people over to die for your people? We hate each other. You see what I'm saying? So lack of unity was a huge part of the falling apart of Rome. Degeneracy, hedonism, obsession with sport. Nobody really cared about being in the military anymore. Nobody really cared about Rome as a unified vision, a unified sort of single powerful country that people cared about. The politicians didn't care. There were people who were enslaved who wanted to see Rome fall. There were people who were second-class citizens who wanted to see Rome fall. There were people who immigrated into Rome who hated the Romans. They were happy to see Rome fall. And you have all these barbarians just outside of Rome going, I wonder if we can ransack this place. So that's actually, a lot of that's all of that's true for Rome. And you can kind of see it in the rules that the founding fathers made when they were forming America. They were concerned about all these things happening again. That's you'll see it in their verbiage. You'll see it in some of their concepts. That's why the founding fathers wanted rules like the Second Amendment, where you're supposed to be able to overthrow your leaders by shooting them. That's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to shoot and kill your leaders if they are being tyrannical and if they're basically taking away your freedoms. So freedom of speech, rule number 1, and then the ability to shoot your government, rule number 2. So the founding fathers were really, really clear on that. TGC, are you sure you have been a YouTuber? What? Came for the Monster Hunter, stayed for the Roman history. Oh man, Roman history is really fascinating. They're really inventive. The Romans, oh nice, here's a mining outcrop here too. The Romans are really, really interesting. The Romans had other problems too. The Romans, religiously, the Romans became divided as well. So at some point, Christianity rises up because of Jesus Christ and the Jews and all that. And what happens is Rome gets divided religiously, which is funny because you see this problem happening all over the world as well. So it used to be that the Romans mostly just worshipped the Greek-Roman pantheon, Aphrodite, Bacchus, Zeus, all of them. And then what happens is Christianity kind of jumps in and says, nope, half of you are Christian now and the other half aren't. And they split over that as well. So the Romans are no longer religiously united. They're divided religiously, and this causes all kinds of problems too. It's kind of an interesting, is a very interesting problem, because I feel like some of the concepts still apply to today. You know what I mean? So I think that religion is really important for everyone to kind of be in agreement with, because when it comes to defending your country or your values or your people, you're not going to want to go and die for somebody else's values and die for somebody else's God and die for somebody else's country. In fact, at this point, I feel like people basically don't even want to defend their own country. So it's like you wouldn't even defend your own religion. You wouldn't be a martyr for your own religion. why the hell would you be a martyr for somebody else's religion? You just wouldn't. So if you get a lot of religions mixed together, what you really have in your country is a lot of division and a lot of people who would not defend any one of those religions. So it's really interesting. People always talk about, oh, we should have all kinds of diversity, but it's not necessarily true that lots of diversity is going to make your country strong. And when you look at the Romans, that's exactly the problem that they were having. They had Christianity come into their country, and it starts spreading around. And one of the Roman emperors basically adopts Christianity, and then there's this split between the Roman people over whether they're going to be Christian or whether they're going to be the old pantheon. And there's like all this torture going on and all this murder going on. It's crazy. Anyways, let's head back. We've got the stuff we need. Let's head back. Wait. Didn't I need 3 of them? I needed 3 of them. I remember now. We need 3 guiding lance crystals. So let's keep digging. So yeah, they got divided on all kinds of things. Population got mixed with all the people who they were at war with in the first place. They started mixing religions. Their politicians didn't give a shit anymore. Their politicians started fighting with each other for power. The military got involved and started killing each other for power. Nobody wants to defend the country anymore. And nobody has a unified vision of the country anymore. And so all those things got real bad. Everyone just wanted to lay around and have sex and watch sports. And it turns out, if that's all you want, there's an invading force right outside your country that would be happy to replace you. They would happily take all of your stuff in a heartbeat. Second-class citizens were Christians first, and they revolt. Well, yeah, and that's what happened. So initially, Christianity starts spreading throughout Rome, and the Romans are like, oh, hell no, we're not going to have Christianity. So the first thing they start doing is they start attacking and killing and torturing all the Christians. But it doesn't work. Christianity spreads anyways. And eventually you have Emperor Augustus or something like that, and he's like, nah, I'm actually a Christian. And so he starts establishing Christianity in Rome. So here's another fun thing you guys didn't know. Have you guys ever looked at some of the Roman Catholic cathedrals? By the way, that's why it's called Roman Catholic. The reason they're called Roman Catholics is because Rome established a specific version of Catholicism where you have like the Nicene Creed and everything like that establishes all of the rules for Christianity. And so it's called the Roman Catholic Church. And when you look at the buildings for the Roman Catholic Church, just like the United States government buildings look Roman, the Catholic Church's basilicas and their cathedrals, they're all Roman. They all look Roman because their architectural style was developed back then during that Roman period. So they had these really cool sort of like domes, and the reason that the churches had those domes is because the domes allowed sunlight to come in from any direction and sort of reflect off of the inside wall of the dome and then back down to the people. So the domes are designed to keep natural lighting in the building as long as possible. And then you have like Notre Dame. You know how Notre Dame has all of those little things that come off of the side of the wall? They're like these multiple, well, those are there to hold the sides of the wall up while letting light come in through the beacons or the beams or whatever they're called. I can't remember there's a specific term for it. I don't have any of it memorized. But yeah, so the reason that the architecture of the Roman Catholic Church looks the way it does is simply because they got it from the Romans. And the reason the American government buildings look the way they do, because the founding fathers wanted to be like the Romans. Tabra says it was Constantine. Yeah, it might have been Constantine. I'm sorry. It might have been Constantine. Emperor Constantine co-opted Christianity. So, and that's a big deal. Like, it's very easy for us to sit from our couch and be like, and that's when they started becoming Christian. But think about it if it applied like that in the real world. So imagine, like, I don't know, Iran, for example. Iran's really Islamic. And then imagine just out of the blue, not out of the blue, but we're trying to convert everyone to Christianity over there, and then we get somebody in charge in Iran, maybe the president, maybe the religious guy, and he says, you know what, I'm a Christian, so we're going to make everyone Christian now. We're going to establish cathedrals everywhere. So it was a huge cultural and religious shift in the country that didn't necessarily unite everyone. It actually created some people who hated it, and then there were other people who were for it. And this was religious division. So they had division in their population, they had division in their religion, they had hierarchical differences like first class citizens, second class citizens, and slaves. And again, a major one is the political leaders didn't give a shit anymore, and they were hedonists, and they were cutting their balls off and all kinds of crazy shit, and they were watching sports all day. All those things were going on in Rome, and nobody wanted to defend the country anymore. The country was split between the left and the right, and then so when one side of Rome gets invaded by like a barbarian group, and they, hey, come help us, right? They tell the other side of Rome to come help. The other side of Rome is like, we hope you fail. We don't even like you. That's why we're split up. There were like two emperors at some point, I'm pretty sure, like a North and South emperor. I can't remember. It's real bad. But it's funny because it feels like all that could happen today in modern times. All of it feels like it could happen today in modern times, and it could destroy your culture and your society. These ideas, these shifts. Don't mind my little correction. You talking about ancient Rome is cool as F, and you're doing it really well. Oh, thanks, man. Tell you what, let's go back and see if we can craft that helmet now. Yeah, the Romans were pretty neat. It was Eastern and Western Rome. Thank you. Eastern and Western Rome. Thank you, thank you. Eastern and Western Rome. It makes you wonder what Rome would have been like if they had managed to stay together and made it to the point where the technology was larger. It would have changed everything. You still can go to places like Italy and the Vatican and see some of the best architectural art you'll ever see in the whole world. Especially if you're talking about ancient architecture. It's incredible. They're well preserved and stuff like that. Or rebuilt, just taken care of. Really, really cool stuff. That's why people still go to Italy for to look at the architecture out there, the Colosseum ruins. It really is crazy to think they were in a time before technology, and they were building things like the Colosseum, and then you can go to places in like Africa or South America, and they don't even have roads out there. Like, what has taken you guys so long? You've had 2,000 years to build some basic roads. Yeah, you ever watch that? Like, there'll be like TV shows on YouTube, like the Greatest Food Review channel or the Most Dangerous Roads channel, and they'll post videos of like these third world countries today. That there'll be people who are like digging holes by hand to dig for gold. And you're like, what the hell? How is this so out? How is this so primitive? I can't believe this exists anywhere. So far into the future, the Romans were building grand cathedrals. Over 2,000 years ago, they were building these colosseums and aqueducts, and today you're still digging and living in a straw hut. What happened? What happened? Let's go ahead and forge equipment.
That reminds me.
Pretty impressive what they were doing back then. Raging Bracky. Golden Loon. We're missing one more guiding wasteland crystal. Okay, so we did need to get that one more time. It's my smiley face. Oxford University predates the rise of the Aztec Empire. Oxford University. God, I'd love to go there for a day and just kind of walk around. That'd be cool. I hear places like Oxford have become really hostile toward, like conservatives. I don't know if that's true or not. I have an Ultimate Gathering set. Tool, Specialist, Secret, Master Gatherer, Botany, Geology, Stealth, Intimidator, Good Luck with Assassin's Mantle. I wish stealth and intimidator worked on Vespidoids. But yeah, like it's hard to see that kind of stuff. The yeah, I've lived in technology in modern society for so long, and everything, you know, get a cell phone at the grocery store, and then to see there's like still mud huts in places. I was watching this documentary on this Dangerous Roads channel, and they were in this place in Africa, and it was like raining, and they were in like some little tiny village, and the people in that village, even though they get rain all the time, they don't build roofs over their homes. And I'm thinking to myself, like, what's wrong with you guys? Just go build a roof. Yeah, that they're like sitting in squalor, and you're thinking to yourself, like, holy fucking shit. And that's why they make the YouTube content on that stuff too, because undoubtedly the person with this super advanced recording technology and access to the internet and access to YouTube, they're like, oh, this is golden. This is content right here. People are gonna have to. People gotta see this. You know what I mean? So they're probably looking at it like clapping their hands together, like, oh yes, this is that good content of people in the middle of nowhere. But yeah, I don't know. The Romans were builders, I guess. You know, they built shit, and it's so impressive, but also it's so important to think about. A lot of you have never built any like actual buildings in your life, or created any kind of architecture, and you just, you know, you live in a society where somebody did. But so many of us don't really build anything. We don't build businesses. We don't design new products. We don't build anything. We just kind of benefit from other people who do build. But you must imagine, like, the Romans were builders. That's what really sets them apart from everyone. They were big time builders. They built everything. They designed everything. And they were artistic too. So were the Greeks. The Greeks were artistic, and they were into writing and everything. So it's very fascinating. I don't know what it is. Is it just base intelligence? Were the Romans just really smart? I don't know what it is. What causes it? Was it their religion? Was it their culture? That's very often what you hear people talk about. Oh, well, differing cultures. Is it? What is a culture? Sometimes I ask myself that question. What is a culture? Is a culture this sort of, is it this sort of outside thing that's been created artificially and pushed onto you? Or is it more like the collective identity of maybe like a genetic expression of everyone in your group? You know what I mean? So like if everyone in your group was more of a quiet person, more of a quiet, private type, shy type, like maybe the Japanese are known for being a little more shy, a little more introverted, well then maybe their society and their culture is just an expression of those genes that make them more introverted. You see what I'm saying? So those are some of the things I wonder sometimes. Run over here. Velcana footprint. Oh no. Don't do it, Velcana. She turned in the wastelands frosty. See you later, Onion Hunter. So we need one more guiding wasteland crystal. Oops, we don't want to go over here. Built on the backs of slave labor, like modern day China. Well, yeah, exactly. And it's always going to be that way, isn't it? There's always going to be somebody in the hierarchy who's at the bottom of the hierarchy doing all the work, doing all the meaningless work, you know, doing all the labor work. Somebody's always in the hierarchy at the bottom. There's always a lowest layer. And right now, that would probably be the citizens of not just China, but many like developing countries that are just really poor, don't really have much going for them, but they're working hard, they're manufacturing goods and then shipping them to America. And then tubby me and tubby you, we lay on our booty cracks, laying on our couches, overpaying like by $20 for those items because we have no concept of international manufacturing. The people who run Walmart know all about it. They source manufacturers in other countries, say, hey, make us this product for 15 cents. And then you and I pay $20 for the same products because we're fucking idiots. Because we have no idea we could just go over there and buy it for 15 cents because we're stupid. Who was the Roman poet who hated the emperor who made him create poems about how glorious he was? Oh, I have no idea. No clue. Around this way. But yeah, Romans had it going on, didn't they? And the fact that they still fell apart is kind of a big deal, you know? The fact that they still fell apart. You had the founding fathers of America who were forming a new country. America ended up being really successful. And I honestly feel like we've all gotten pretty far away from what they originally intended. And the argument very often is that, oh, well, modern times require modern laws. But it's like some of the concepts are actually pretty timeless. Ideas about, how the country should be run, and concepts about certain inalienable rights, stuff like that, right? Monster Hunter GU is on sale for $20. I think it's time to finally get it. What? Monster Hunter GU on sale? Let's run over here. Why you dissed the Vespoid hunting horn? It's amazing. Vespoids are easy to farm, but you dissed. What? Grab this footprint. Too bad social studies is social justice instead of history Ludkins. Yeah. Yeah. I still, to this day, I don't fully understand. I still don't fully understand all the social justice stuff. It doesn't really make sense to me. I think well-meaning people get into like social justice, but they don't really. It's like they don't really understand how the world works or something like that. They don't. I see the world as kind of like dog eats dog because it is dog eats dog. That's because there's limited resources. People with People with competing values want your shit. They want your land. That's how it's been for all of human existence. And I think they're kind of like idealists almost, where they're like, yeah, we can get rid of all that. Think of the guy from the Beatles who went on to write his album where he's just like, imagine if there's no religion, and imagine if there were no ownership and all this other stuff, right? And he's like, we could do it. We can all hold hands and sing Kumbaya and live by a fire. I like to think that a lot of the times the social justice warriors are those kind of people, but they're just woefully wrong about the way the world works. It's a great sort of religious idea in and of itself that humans and mankind could be that way, but the very basis of biology is natural selection. That's the very basis of it, right? So biology is telling you, hey, you go out, you get to have sex and children with the best partners. Not everyone does. Just a few people do, and then your genes get passed along. Hey, you go and secure certain resources, and this allows you to have more partners and more children. Not everyone does. Just whoever has the most useful skills does. And that's the very basis of all nature, right? Is this natural selection that drives biology. And you get all these naive people who can almost be like brainwashed by music like Imagine, right? You get like brainwashed by like, wow, wouldn't that be nice? Whoa!
Have some of my resources.
Have some of my resources. Oh my lord. Let's update that. Let's update the vault fund. Thanks, Symphonia. But, they start to think that I want to say it's like religious brainwashing a lot of the time. What's funny is people are so critical of the Christians, and they're critical of other religions too. People are critical of Judaism. People are critical of Islam. But we're not critical of this sort of idealism where we believe that we can all hold hands and sing Kumbaya. And I don't really know what the word for that religion would be, like the religion of social justice, or maybe it's just communism if you think about it, right? Maybe it's just communism, believing we can all be equal. But it's like the moment you're born different from everyone. The moment you're born. Oh, let me get that. Probably the mailman. Be right back. I'm back. What was I talking about? Let's go craft this gold Raytheon coil. SJW designed the new Marvel Warriors. Oh no.
Oh,
Yeah. I think it's tough though because it's like I think one of the things that you see a lot of ideologies work very hard on is trying to convince young people of the certain ideology, and I think the SJWs essentially have been very effective at that. And I think what young people need to hear is that the world is fundamentally a very intense competition, and that whenever you get like two dominant groups, they never hold hands. One always tries to make the other subservient to it. There's no, oh, we're going to have perfect peace. There's no perfect peace. Perfect peace is when you're strong, and then nobody can hurt you. So I wish we were telling young people that, and not telling them this crap like, oh yeah, if you just bend over and give the people around you everything they tell you to give them, then they're going to love you and we're all going to get along. It's never been that way. Alright, it looks like I can only craft one of these. Now which one should I craft? This one's better if I had good decorations. This one's better if I had bad decorations. We're going to craft the bad one. Bad decoration one. Bat says, my personal opinion is yes, the world is a dog-eat-dog world, but that doesn't mean families should be lashing each other's throats because of a difference in political opinion. That's true, Raging Bat, except that's exactly what happens, isn't it? Look at all of the civil wars that have occurred in places like the Middle East, Yemen, Syria. You have small differences in religious beliefs over there, and then what does it lead to? Ultimately, it always has to lead to murder. That is what it always does lead to. So you're talking about diplomacy, and diplomacy works until you reach a point that you're having an argument on something that neither of you will budge on. So diplomacy works until neither side can compromise. Are there things you can't compromise on? Oh yeah, absolutely. There are things you can't compromise on, like a perfect example, abortion. So you have a whole group of people that don't believe abortion is moral because they believe it's murder, and they're never going to change their minds. It is impossible for them to change their minds because they have very strong feelings on murder. And then you have another group that believes it's not murder. They believe it's a woman's choice and all that, and they're never going to change their minds either. So this is sort of that kind of thing that they will never, they'll never reach a conclusion on together. They're just, it's always going to be a permanent dividing moment on them. And we get along because we prefer to be in a civilized society rather than have to kill each other over that. But what happens when there's too many irreconcilable differences between the two groups? One side believes in taxation that's to a certain degree, the other side believes in very heavy taxation. Differences on immigration, differences on the family values, differences on spending on military, differences on there's so much to disagree on, and it feels like, particularly in America, there's a certain kind of division going on that you would think eventually will lead to perhaps a civil war. And to think, oh well, we could never have a civil war. It's like, yeah, you definitely could. You just have to have enough people angry about their values being disagreed with, and it doesn't matter what side you're talking about, left or right, and then eventually you have a civil war. And it already occurs at the political level. We have a civil war at the political level, but I mean, like, there is a point where it reaches the level where people pick up guns and start shooting each other. See you later, Chumpy. Well, anyways, yeah, we're talking about the Roman Empire. They're really fun to read about. I think that we should help somebody with their quest. Let's see what they got. Hunt the gold Raytheon. Oh, I actually don't need any more gold Raytheon parts. Well, do I? I could use some more gold Raytheon parts. Yeah, we'll join. Am I pro-choice or pro-life? I would call myself pro-choice, but I do actually believe that abortion is very likely murder. I think that the reason people get into abortion is because they're trying to get rid of a known human, right? So they're trying to say, no human in me. If they just wanted to get rid of some cells or whatever, they could like pluck some hairs out and throw them away. They're not plucking their hairs out. They're plucking out the fetus, right? And they don't pluck it out because it's, oh man, this fetus is making me unhappy. They pluck it out because the fetus turns into a human. So the point of abortion is to get rid of a human. That's the point of it. It's not to get rid of a clump of cells like they claim. That's what the claim is. It's not to get rid of a clump of cells. It really is just to get rid of a baby. It's to get rid of a human being. That's the whole point. And they don't like to see it that way. But I'm fine. They can do it. In my book, they can do it. If they want to do that, they can do it. I think the way I see it is, it's almost, I see it like a biological kind of suicide, actually. So I don't think I can stop people from committing suicide, and I don't think I can necessarily stop people from wanting to kill their babies either. You want to get rid of yourself? Get rid of yourself then. You need to change your decorations. Oh, you're right. I do have a geologist decoration. Nobody wishes to admit they want their opposition obliterated. Well, and a lot of the times, diplomacy works, actually. You talk it out with your opponent, you see things eye to eye, and you come to a compromise that makes you both kind of happy, or maybe you even give in and just give your opponent what they want, and you're like, you know what, I can live with that. But there are certain things where you start to become so divided on such irreconcilable differences that it's time to break up. Think of it like, very often when we talk politics or social, cultural stuff, I kind of boil it down to a relationship. Because a one-to-one person relationship can sometimes make it easier to understand. When you're in a relationship with a girl and she and you have irreconcilable differences, you end the relationship. That's what you do. That's how you finish things off. That's how you fix it. Well, you can't really do that when you're stuck in a country with a bunch of people. You're like, okay, you all hate me and I hate all of you, and we're just stuck together. And so how do you break up? Well, the breakup is a war. That's what the breakup is. It's a war, or it's immigration. So you immigrate out of the country. You say, you know what? We're just not going to do this anymore. Counterclaw. Do you think loyalty and trust is a rare thing nowadays? Oh, absolutely. It's a rare thing. Not only is it rare, but it's probably at the heart of the most valuable things that you can have. Trust and loyalty are huge, man. Being able to trust somebody is so freaking important. And the problem is, in order to be loyal and in order to be trusting, you have to make sacrifices for the other person. So like, you have to make an active decision that you're going to make sacrifices for somebody. That's what loyalty and trust are used for. Loyalty and trust aren't there for the good times when things are easy and, oh my god, I'm going to get myself killed here. I'm KO'd, dude. Oh my god, this weapon is so annoying. Alright, there we go. Loyalty and trust are there for when times are hard. And the willingness of your partner, or let's say your country, or the people of your country, the willingness of them to altruistically take care of you just because they want to as a value, that's where you really start to find out how strong your country is and how good the people in your country are. Because people, what is a community, what is a relationship, other than that, you know what I mean? Wow, man. We're KO'd again. I'm dead. Oh, look at these little heals. So let's go ahead and have our last max potion here. Maybe I shouldn't be talking and playing so much. How did Gold Raytheon land those move on me? I got a shield, man. That should be impossible. I must be a garbage player. Only garbage players make mistakes in a fight. How was my day? My day's been pretty good. Thanks for asking. Oh, he's coming down. I gotcha. Do I not have it? Wow. Oh my god. There is a scenario where abortion is a good thing. Well, yeah, I definitely would have even if I was still Christian, I would support abortion from rape. I can't handle that kind of stuff. That's too much for me. No way. Doctors will save the mother before the baby by default. Are we talking about abortion now? Look, guys, if I stand still and don't do anything and I hold the guard button, I'm safe. Good defense. You actually do have a herbal medicine. Look again. Do I really? God, we all got knocked down. That's a bad place to be knocking her over, huh? It's extremely unfair that someone should be forced to have a baby because you want them to. Yeah, I mean, I know both sides of the abortion argument pretty well at this point. Let's say that, let's pretend for a second that the fetus is a person, since that's always at the heart of the problem. Let's say the fetus is a person, then let's just say murder's an absolute wrong. You have no right to murder the baby under any circumstance. Doesn't matter if it's rape or anything. And those are usually be the stance of the pro-lifer. They actually do believe that the fetus is a person, and so there's like zero scenarios where it's okay to kill that baby. The only scenario might be where you're very sure that the baby would kill the mother if the baby is not killed. So, and that's it. That's it for them, because they believe that the fetus is a person, and that's not an illogical conclusion either. So it's a logical conclusion to say, I don't care if the mother was raped. That's a third person. There would be the baby would be a victim if you murdered it. So that is why it's hard to agree with them, because your gut goes ew. Your gut goes ew, because your gut's supposed to go ew. Nature doesn't want people to be able to have babies that way, you know? Nobody should be able to force you to have a baby that way. You should be able to kill the baby. That's what nature would have you do. There's no rules in nature. You know what I mean? Like, if you were to kill the rapist's baby, which I believe happens in nature all the time. I think mothers kill their... In nature, mothers kill their babies, like, all the time. You guys didn't know that. They'll kill, like, the weakest baby, or they just get rid of the one they don't like. They'll eat it, even. Cannibalistic animals, they'll eat their baby. So it happens all the time in nature. But, you know, it makes humans, because we're so intelligent, it makes us uncomfortable. Like, oh man, what if that thing's like me with feelings and thoughts and can feel pain? You know, so we get really uncomfortable with it. Just imagine rewarding the rapist with a baby. He gets to have the sex and the baby. Break that, dude. And there will always be somebody who they'll come in and be like, I was the child of rape. And it'd be like, you're saying that I should have been murdered. You know, that's the other funny part. There will always be some kid who the mother decided not to rape the baby. I'm sorry, not to rape the baby. The mother decided not to have the baby aborted, and so the baby will live. And then every time this conversation is had, that person has to deal with hearing people like me say, yeah, of course, abort the rape baby. So it's always, you know, it's always this subject where it's always got this drama to it because of that. But you know, if you get raped and you want to keep the baby, I don't see any reason why you can't do that. The problem is when you have pro-lifers judging you for wanting to get rid of the baby. I think that's actually a mistake on the pro-lifers' part. I think that when it comes to having the abortion, the blame and the guilt should be passed to the rapist, not to the mother, because the mother didn't consent to becoming pregnant. She'd been raped. Oh. Any tips for raging brachydios? Yeah, I have a whole video full of tips for fighting raging brachydios. Be sure to bring Blast Resist 3, and you can soften his legs and trip him. You can use traps on him before he goes to the last stage. And the last stage really isn't too bad if you've got the ability to heal quickly. I'm thinking of picking up dual blades. Are Kulturok dual blades the best options? I don't keep up with dual blades that much. The honest truth is that I don't know what the dual blade meta is currently, but I've heard that the QR weapons are good for elemental builds. So it might be the case that the QR dual blades are meta right now. 60 crit damage is really low. I'm scared to sheath right now. I'm scared to sheath and I'm dying. Gonna heck it out then, thanks. Oh, check it out. Mushroom Mancer is for poor people. Just curious, where do you land on a political compass test? Oh, I very likely land a conservative. Very likely. I wasn't always conservative. When I was in college, I was liberal. But then well, two things happened. I started paying more taxes. So when you're in college, you don't pay any taxes. So your opinions on taxes are usually like, oh yeah, we can raise taxes. But then when you actually start succeeding in life, you realize how ridiculous taxes are. The government, you work real hard every day. You work like 8 to 10 to 12 hours, depending on where you work. And then the government just says, that's my money, thanks. You go, look at all the money I made. And the government says, no, actually, that's my money. And then you go, I don't like the way that feels. You know, because you're already paying taxes every time you buy something. You already pay property taxes. So you just pay taxes out the ass. And then the government spends the taxes on something stupid like a war in the Middle East or some other dumb thing. So the first thing, when you're young and you're in college, it's very easy to feel very liberal and very pro-tax, raise the taxes, raise the taxes. But if you go out into the world and you start building wealth and prosperity like you're supposed to, that's the whole point, you'll start to realize you don't like taxes. So that's a big change. But also, things actually changed pretty rapidly when I was in college. There was so I live in Missouri, right next to Ferguson, Missouri. I could drive over there in about 20, 30 minutes. And the whole Michael Brown thing broke out. Remember the Black Lives Matter and the hands up, don't shoot and all that stuff? So that all broke out right next to where I live. And there was a time before any of that had occurred. Obama was the president. I wasn't really sure how I felt about social health care with him, but I was open-minded, because I understood concepts like economy of scale. So that's their argument for social health care run by the government. Or not, well, like social health care insurance that is offered by the government. Okay, so it's meant to compete with the private healthcare insurance companies. That's the whole point of it. And I was definitely open-minded to it when I was younger and in college. I was like, okay, so we'll see later if this works. And back then there was the mandate where if you don't buy socialized healthcare from the government, you get penalized for it in the tax code. And Muammar Gaddafi was getting assassinated back then by Europe and America together. We were all blowing him up because he's the big bad guy, I guess. So that was a decision under the Barack Obama party or whatever, White House group. I can't remember the name. And there were other things going on, like the war in Syria was beginning. You had the rebels going after the government. So there was this, I don't know if you guys remember this, but there was the Arab Spring and the Muslim Brotherhood, and there were all these rebellions going up in the Middle East, and Barack Obama was applauding for them and saying, yeah, we need democracy in the Middle East. And President Putin was like, exporting democracy has never worked that well, especially in these areas. Well, anyways, you have all these uprisings and riots, and how does, what was his name? Bashar, I can't remember the name of the leader in Syria. What was his name? Say I should know this. But anyways, he responded to the uprisings by simply mowing down the crowd, because he had watched what happened in Egypt. He had watched the risings over there, and he said, that is not happening over here. So he had his people shoot into the crowd, and that was the beginning of the Syrian war. And Barack Obama, as well as some of our conservative politicians, were in support of the rebels who wanted to overthrow the government in Syria. And there was all this destabilization of the area. So all this occurs, and Muammar Gaddafi gets assassinated, or killed, I should say, and then you have the rise of ISIS. So ISIS sort of rises up. Bashar al-Assad. There you go. Bashar al-Assad. That's his name. Thanks. So, he mows down his people and then flees to Russia. And then Russia's like, yeah, we'll keep you safe. And there's this big rebel war. And then in Germany, you have Merkel is like, yeah, just bring them all in. So this massive immigration from all over the Middle East, not just Syria, but all over the Middle East into Europe. I witnessed this for the first time. I'd never seen anything like that before. And then at the same time, you have the Hands Up, Don't Shoot in America with the Black Lives Matter group, which I've 100% always disagreed with the name of the group. I never liked it. Never liked the Black Lives Matter. Always made me cringe. It always made me cringe because if you did it for any other race, it would be cringy. White Lives Matter. If anyone said that, that would be hugely racist. And I witnessed it even on campus as well. There would be the black group. There would be like a black club on college campus. And I thought, how racist would it be if somebody formed a white club? It would be so stupidly racist. But it's okay for other groups to do this. And so I was seeing things more clearly as I got older in college. It's like, that's a racist thing. You wouldn't have a white group. That would be a racist group at college. But we do it for other races. And it's like, that's hypocritical. So it's the same with the Black Lives Matter thing. They should have just named it something else, honestly. Which would have worked much, it would have been much more effective marketing, essentially. They should have just named it differently. But, it affected a lot of the areas where I lived, and it was a very nasty thing. They were, like, closing down roads. That's a terrible form of protest, by the way. So you come up with a terrible name for your group, and then you block roads for people whose support you're trying to gain. That's so stupid. We have the St. Louis Symphony Orchestra. They start going into the St. Louis Symphony Orchestra and start shouting, hands up, don't shoot. And then finally the autopsy for the Michael Brown investigation comes out. The autopsy shows that Michael Brown was reaching for the cop's gun at the time. It turns out the key witnesses, they come forward and admit that they were lying about the hands up, don't shoot thing. So for months I listened to the whole hands up, don't shoot crap. That was a lie. But I had to listen to it all around where I was living. I was on a college campus at the time. And there was all this anger and all this frustration. It was all based on sort of this lie that was going on.
Show us your feet.
Show us your feet. I could do that. Where's my... I don't have my cell phone at the time, Cheese. Thanks for the donation. Maybe I'll show it off in the card stream in a minute here. And I am sympathetic to, too much cop violence. That has to be curbed. So I'm totally sympathetic on those degrees. But the actual name of the campaign, the Black Lives Matter, is a sort of separatist name, isn't it? Because it wouldn't work with any other race. It would be a racist thing if it was any other race. And so I started to see this more and more when I was in college, and I was like, man, why do we run things this way? It's so competitive. It separates us. It doesn't actually bring us together. That's why I realized. And I started to realize that everything was about power. It wasn't really about equality. It was about power. It was about power and dominance, not equality. I started to see the world that way slowly from my education, from things I read over time, from my constant reading of politics and the news. But so Barack Obama, I was hoping he would support the cops, actually, because I live near St. Louis, and St. Louis is, if you didn't know this, is like the murder capital of America. So I support the cops where I live. I actually care about the cops because they got a dangerous job. They get killed too. There's a whole website dedicated to cops that get shot and killed. And instead, he comes out in favor of Michael Brown. And he says, Michael Brown could have been my son. I'm like, what are you talking about, Barack Obama? Your son would have gone to some stupid private school. You're a rich guy. And I started to see a lot of the real problems between classes. They're financial problems. They're not problems of race. They're financial problems. So you have poor white people and you have poor black people, and they're in the same boat together. And they should be unified on what kinds of political help they receive, okay? But instead, it's white versus black people, and it's very frustrating for me, actually. It's very frustrating because there's problems of class. There's a lot of poor white people that could use help. I was from a not poor black family. I was from a poor white family. I was homeless. I haven't seen my parents in like X number of years. What was it, like 17 years or something like that? I didn't receive any sort of special welfare or anything like that, even though I was dirt poor the whole time. There was no special help for me when I went to school. So I started to realize there's problems, there's financial problems for people, but we turn them into race problems, and I think that's what happens when there's conflict, especially now in the future. I guess there's all the racism from the past, and that was it was a long time ago, but I also understand the argument that it wasn't that long ago, right? I totally get all that. We were being educated on this stuff in college, but the way that it's handled in modern times, I just don't agree with it. I think that the way we handle it in modern times is designed to separate us, because when you separate us, you get us voting one way or voting another way, and I think that's what the game is. I think that's what the game is. And the game is being driven by the desire for power. So it's not about the enrichment of the people at the bottom who actually need help. It's about the enrichment of the people at the top who want your vote. And this is what I find most frustrating about all of it, the more and the more and the more and the more I researched it. Well, anyways, so that was under the Barack Obama administration. That's the word I'm looking for. I was young and I was liberal when I was in college, and I was young and I was liberal and I wasn't paying taxes. I didn't really have an opinion on student debt yet. Back then I did have an opinion on the quality of my education. I could tell it was bad, but it's like I didn't care at the time because I was chilling out at college. I wasn't paying my student debt yet. So I was like, this is nice, right? And there were cute girls and there were cool guys, and you played games, you go on your spring break, and you all feel super smart because you're in college, but actually you're getting ripped off. That's what's really happening. So I didn't have an opinion on college yet because I was in college. The only opinion I have is, wow, Shakespeare seems pretty useless as a skill. Seems like I could do this on my own. And that was my point of view back then. But I started to see the left change. I started to see the left change. Vault Fund displaying weirdly. Is it? Is it just because we don't have a correct background for it? But yeah, so I started to see the party on the left change, and they continue to change over time, and I think that the left became more extremist over time. So there was a point where nobody was calling for like socialism on the left. Bernie Sanders was a new idea, right? So, well, to a degree, new idea. So Bernie Sanders comes out and he's like, I'm a socialist. So he's openly socialist. Guess what? Barack Obama was not openly socialist. Barack Obama, he actually was trying to curb the illegal immigration, right? That's one of the accusations that Joe Biden has to deal with during the Democratic candidacy, the primaries, right? So Joe Biden is jumped on by people like Kamala Harris and by who's that lame guy from Texas, the Irish guy who wants to be I can't remember his name, Beto O'Rourke, right? The Irish guy from Texas. So they're all jumping on Joe Biden because under Obama's presidency, they did many of the same things we were already doing that Donald Trump is in trouble, like separating parents and children, exporting a lot of people who did not come here legally, and trying to, in general, just have a legal and fair immigration laws. But he gets jumped on for that now. So back then it was normal. Now it's not normal. And that's because there's been this kind of like major shift in the left where everything increasingly became identity politics. It increasingly became identity politics. And so things are different now. And I would end up falling into the camp for conservatives simply because the left has become so extremely left. Could you give a brief explanation on the parties? Yeah, so in America you have two political parties, the Democrats and the conservatives, also known as the Republicans and the... Oh, right. So it's the Republican Party and the Democrat Party. Democrats are liberals, Republicans are conservative. In Europe, you'll find that there's a bunch of smaller parties all competing. In America, those parties kind of gather up under two different groups. And then the strongest ideas in those parties rises to the top in those two groups, which is why you have Bernie Sanders, who's more of a socialist, rising to the top of the Democrat Party and pretty strongly changing the identity of the Democrat Party because of it. So it's not that the United States doesn't have a bunch of different political ideas. It's just that they end up falling in under two camps, under two umbrellas, and then the strongest leaders in those competing ideas kind of rises up on one side of the party. So the same with Donald Trump. So Donald Trump is also, he's very different from your typical Republican, but he rose to the top because he's what the people wanted. Well, he's what the Electoral College wanted. But actually, he still, I'm sure, got plenty of supporters. But so you have the Republicans and the Democrats. And the Republicans, I would call them the party that believes in, how would you describe the two? They're different on many key issues. I would say that the Republicans believe in having a strong military. I would say the Republicans are pro-life. The Republicans believe in low taxes and small government. So that would describe the Republican Party in America. Low taxes, small government, pro-life, and pro-military. And then the Democrats, their entire message today is we should have socialism and we should have open borders. Those are the two things you hear screaming out of the Democrat Party now. It would be social justice, high taxes on the wealthy, and then let's socialize everything the way Europe has so that China can race its way to the top even faster. You can actually hear my disdain for those ideas right away. Because I don't agree with many of them. I completely disagree with feminism at this point. I don't believe in equality. I believe that people are fundamentally born different. And when you're told, yeah, we can all be equal, what you mean is taking the best people in your society and trying to bring them down to the same level as everyone else. I think people are just born unequal. You've got pretty girls and ugly girls. The moment they're born, they're different. That's just how it works, guys. You can disagree all you want. You'll get ugly girls still born, and, it's sad for them. Maybe plastic surgery can fix it all in the end. Maybe technology will end up being the great equalizer for everyone. But it's just the way nature works. Some girls are prettier, some girls are uglier. It's just the moment you're born, it works that way. So I no longer believe in that. Don't believe in feminism. I do think if you have a weaker military that can work for a while, I don't think it can work indefinitely. So I think having a powerful military is very important. Actually, a great example of that is right now all the conflict we have with China. China is trying to hack all of our research on COVID-19. They're trying to steal all of our technology and research on COVID-19. And if you had a weak military, they'd probably do it more. They'd probably be more brazen and try to steal more things. But there is a point where they're probably concerned about having to deal with the real war. And that's a good thing. So you get peace by being strong. That's the concept by the Republicans. They believe you can't have peace when you're weak because the world will come and try to take your things. And I think they're accurate on that. It's like in America, what if we just got rid of cops? Will there be more peace or less peace? There will probably be less peace. There'll be more car break-ins. There'll be more robberies. There'll be more gun violence. Gangs will replace the cops. Gangs and the mafia will replace the cops. So that's the funny thing for people like from the Black Lives Matters movement that absolutely hate cops. It's like, what do you want? What do you think is the solution? You want to just turn our cops into... How about you guys stop shooting each other in the cities and then you don't need dangerous cops? That would be easy. But people choose to shoot each other. I don't know why. You got the Crips and the Bloods in America. Why does that exist? Why don't you just get rid of killing each other? I was dirt poor. People always say it's because you're poor. I was dirt poor my whole life. I never felt the need to kill someone. I was never like, man, I'm going to join a gang and kill someone. Never. Not even a little bit. Did I feel like that was required at some point. But people do it anyways. And then, the cops have to respond to a dangerous environment in America that they don't have in Europe. And then the Democrats, what do they end up saying? Hey, let's take all the guns away. That's what the Democrats end up saying. Well, we can fix it all if we take the guns away. So that's another thing about the Republicans in America. The Republicans believe that in order to protect freedom, you have to have a well-armed society, because that way you can never have a tyrannical government. The Democrats are more focused in on gun violence between civilians, so that the Democrats believe in order to have a safe society, you have to take guns away from civilians who are shooting each other. So, Fearb says in Chinese culture, stealing ideas is a form of, am I saying that right? Homage? I think what you're saying is it's a form of flattery. However, while I think that's true for certain things, like maybe design, maybe like art, there is a point where you start stealing intellectual ideas and making a lot of money off of those intellectual ideas, and you're starting to steal maybe even millions of dollars. So actually, at some point, it is just theft. So, for example, trying to hack American healthcare companies to steal their information on COVID-19, that's just theft. It's not flattery, it's theft. Our Proctor says, pray for peace, prepare for war. Better to have the ability than the need than to need it and not have it. How about this? Instead of praying, go to work, and then use your money to prepare for work. I do honestly. I do not spend much time praying. Actually, I spend no time praying because I don't pray. So praying is about as effective as hoping God will do my math homework. He never does. He never does. You have to do it yourself. But that's me. That's me being a little asshole to religious people. So I apologize for that. I like to make fun of people. I actually am I'm a pretty critical person. If you haven't noticed, I can be pretty critical. Did you ever feel the need to learn martial arts? Nope, never felt that need. Nope. Yeah. So politics is a fascinating subject. Social stuff. It's all really important too. It's all really important to think about and to kind of know where you fall in. And it helps you understand how to think of the world too, right? It helps you understand how to be more competitive and to kind of grow in power and rise up in the hierarchy and live a better life. It's all part of it's all part of the same game. It's all part of being alive and being wealthy and having kids and having an actual wife, and instead of being a pussyfooted beta male who she eventually leaves for perhaps an actual husband. Pussyfooted. Anyways, we should wrap up, right? We've been talking for a little while, and the stream is past the 2-hour mark, so it's about time to wrap up. Any finishing thoughts? As an American person, how many guns do you own? I actually don't own any guns. Did you ever feel the need to learn martial arts, pray for peace, change your decorations? Republican equals liberty, Democrats equal government control over the individual. Yeah, so the Republicans, a lot of their core beliefs come from believing that the individual should be in charge of governing themselves. And the Democrats believe more in societal structures making the decisions for you. So that's the main difference between them. Do you know who Diogenes is? I definitely recognize the name. Crimson says, who was the big tough guy at your school that ended up not being so big and tough? Well, I was homeschooled, and I was the tough guy because I was the oldest brother. Wellick says, I spent about 4 years doing MMA, great workout, and a lot of fun. Do I know when the next event will be? I don't, actually. Lance OP! That's right, the Lance is super OP, if you guys didn't know. All you have to do is hold the guard button, and this makes it really good at defense. But yeah, it is the 2-hour mark, 2 hours and 20 minutes to be precise. I think we should wrap up, and I will take a small break. And then later on tonight, I'm going to go ahead and stream the card stream. And then late tonight, we will have Pokemon Crystal. And we're going to play some Pokemon Crystal, retro Pokemon Crystal from 2001. I hope you guys will join me for that later tonight. It's a totally different game, but it's pretty fun over there, and we can continue our conversations. I don't limit what we talk about in those Pokemon live streams. Hey, mister. That's right. Hey, mister, you got any Pokemon cards? So yeah, I'll go ahead and take my break now, guys. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you guys next time.